Hi folks, Mike with M&M Precision Painting, and today we're going to talk about paint. What type of paint is right for the right job? I know a lot of homeowners have issues because it can be confusing. We're going to try to take care of some of that confusion today and clear some things up to make it a lot easier for you to pick the right paint for your job.
Still looking at me.
Alright guys, so you go to the home improvement store and you're looking for a paint. So what paint to choose? Now you're going to get a lot of words thrown at you here. For the sake of differentiating interior paints, I want to go ahead and eliminate oil-based for the purpose of this video because it's sort of outdated. Really high VOCs, volatile organic compounds. Don't really want to be using it inside. It's really unnecessary with the advent of new water-based technologies that mimic some of the oil-based properties. So that being said, we're just going to stick with latex. Okay, so in the range of latex paints, you're going to have different sheens. How sheens are measured is with a light in a laboratory with a light at 85-degree angle. They will shine a light on it. The light will bounce off into another machine, a spectrometer, which records the amount of light that is reflected off that surface. The more light, the higher the sheen, like your glosses and things of that nature. So technically they can name a sheen anything from 0 to a 100 because it goes from a scale from 0 to 100. That being said, the lowest sheens are going to reflect less light, therefore being more forgiving on uneven or bumpy surfaces. Okay, and the higher your sheen, the more light is going to reflect and it's going to show all of those imperfections. Okay, so that being said, now you know what sheen technically is. We can go on and tell you a little more about what it is and when to use it on for what job, whether it be trim, walls, ceilings, etc. All right guys, now we have a basic understanding of what sheen is and its characteristics and or properties. Just to recap, the lower the sheen, the more forgivable it's going to be as far as the paint's concerned. It's going to show less imperfections because there's going to be less light bouncing off of it. The higher the sheen, glosses, semi-glosses, things of that nature, there's going to be more light shining off of it, therefore showing more imperfections. Okay, so we're going to start with the ceiling. Okay, so anytime you're painting a ceiling, you generally use a flat or something close to it, maybe a matte at the most. And the reason I say that is not only do you have natural light shining in off your ceiling, and ceilings are generally white, but you're going to have light fixtures and chandeliers, things of that nature, that are going to reflect light directly onto your ceiling. That being said, you're going to have a ton of light there, so it makes common sense to use a less reflective paint, which would be in the flat to matte sort of range. So, and to clear flat and matte up, they're essentially sort of the same. They say that matte is in between flat and satin. So, like I said, they're going to name one Charlie Sheen before you know it, because technically you can come out, I think it's just like a marketing gimmick. You can come out with like a different color sheen based on a 0 to 100 scale. So, but that being said, we always use flats on our ceilings. I recommend you do the same thing to hide imperfections because you have light shining directly on it, whether it be artificial or natural light source. So that's it for ceilings, and stay tuned. We'll show you what to do with the walls. All right, guys, so now walls. What do we use on walls? Well, one of the things I do when I consider what paint to use on a wall is relative to the traffic. Okay, so if a high traffic area, you're going to want to use something with a little more sheen, because not only with higher sheens do you get more reflection, but you're going to get more durability and washability out of your product. So if I'm going to place like around a wall where I got a high traffic area, I'm going to want to use something satin or higher, but we usually stick with satins because it's in between a flat and a high gloss. A high gloss is just way too much for a wall because considering the size of the wall, you're going to have some imperfections in there. You want to hide them to the best of your ability, but you're going to balance that out with the durability of cleanup. Especially if you got kids, something of that nature, they're going to be like smearing their little greasy hands all over the wall, writing on it. Light switches, people are hitting it, stumbling around in the dark. So taking that into consideration, satin's probably your best bet for walls because they're durable, they clean up easy, and they don't show as many imperfections as a higher gloss paint. So for my walls, I always go with satins. And yeah, so walls satins, ceilings flat. All right, guys, so now on to trim. Trim can also include doors. Doors can get a little tricky relative to how well you want them painted, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to cover latex paints. And so on trim, we generally go with a semi-gloss or a gloss. More preferably, I use a semi-gloss. One, because again, it's going to show more imperfections, but less than a gloss. So taking that into consideration, just anytime we prep our trim, we do a really good job of it. We'll Bondo and or use wood putty, sand them down, get any imperfections off, because we know that when we put that semi-gloss on, anything that's in there is going to show up. So yeah, go with semi-gloss on your trims and your doors, because those are, again, high traffic areas. They tend to get kicked a lot, of course. Things get pushed against them, and it's a more durable paint, and it cleans up way easier than flat or satin. So that's the reason why you want to use semi-gloss on your trim and your doors. All right, guys, just a quick recap. Okay, so now we know what paint sheens are best used for what jobs and why they're used that way. What you can do is when you go to the home improvement store, if you're not sure of the name of the sheen that is associated with the name of the paint you want, what you can do is just ask your rep, and they should be able to tell you, like from a scale to 0 to 100, what the sheen is on that particular paint. And tell them, you know, if you're picking a paint for the ceiling, that you want to go with something with a lower sheen, closer to 0, and vice versa, and so on and so on, etc. So if you want walls, you want something kind of in between. It kind of balances out the durability and the ability to hide imperfections. So yeah, they should know 0 to 100, and they should be able to like point you in the right directions in terms of like, what do you mean it's gloss or semi-gloss? And they'll let you know, and just tell them I want to use the semi-gloss on my trim, I want to use the satin on my walls, and I want to use the flat on my ceilings. And they'll be able to point you in the right direction, because believe it or not, they'll name these things all kinds of crazy stuff just to act like they have a new paint coming out. So that being said, you're a little bit more armed when you go to the hardware store or your local paint dealer, and you'll be able to pick the right paint for the job. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button in the corner there. We got some videos right here. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook. I believe we have Pinterest now. And yeah, stay tuned. And if you guys have a suggestion for a future video or any questions about this video, leave them in the comments. And this is Mike, and we will see you on the next one.
Are you still looking at me?